Here we go then, come and get it pilots, the Falcon Cup Finals quarter-final between VDT and Cyclone. It's D and Red Sheep for VDT in green, against Yayu and Zion FPV flying for Cyclone in purple. Now young Red Sheep, the one to beat you would think out of this group. Yayu, definitely the best pilot in form for Cyclone Racing at the moment, and he's moved up to the lead. It's D, Red Sheep, both for VDT, both of them in second and third, a little bit of swapping places. Zion, on the other hand, as you see, getting caught and struggling a bit with one of the ladders, and there's a few on this track around Alula. We're on board with Red Sheep as he chases Yayu down from Elephant Rock, around the big waffle, and is heading up to the start of lap number 2, and as he does so, he's about 3/4 of a second behind Yayu, who is into the first and the second of the corkscrews and away. Red Sheep sticking with him. It's D, a newer pilot for VDT, but an absolutely brilliant newcomer last year, and a really, really good pickup for VDT from Phoenix Racing. He's still in the thick of things in the middle. He's losing a grip on the action at the front between Yayu and Red Sheep. Sadly, Zion FPV still struggling his way around our track here in Saudi Arabia. Zion's teammate, Yayu, he's now 1.5 seconds ahead of Red Sheep. That's twice the distance between them that it was. And 1 lap to go as Red Sheep now is into the first and heading for the second of the corkscrews. Might have got a little bit of a glimpse of Yayu then. Might just feed that hunger that he wants to try and catch him up. Might be too much to do unless Yayu makes a big mistake as he comes down. Red Sheep is diving down very quickly as well into this more complicated section. The purple trail's not too far away, you feel, but then when you look at the time between them, you realise how much can be lost in really tight turns and all of these twists that we have here in Alula. Yayu's into the waffle, now Red Sheep's in there as well. It's one final push from both of them, and Yayu gets the first win of the Falcon Cup in the quarterfinals. Red Sheep's in second, it's D is third. Zion twists his way out of those 6 gates to the finish. And it turns after all of that action to one of those 5 points all races. 1 point for Zion in fourth. Then it's D, then Red Sheep, 4 points for Yayu, the first win of the day. Let's follow that up with our second matchup featuring the other 2 pilots from each team, Sturman and Dima 2012 against the Ice Cheetah and West. Now this could be very telling indeed. As Sturman recently joined VDT, Dima 2012 is a new pilot for VDT. West, another pilot who came up from the DCL wildcard team and is flying brilliantly for Cyclone, and the Ice Cheetah, he's been with Cyclone since the beginning. So we've got a real mix of experience, new pilots on VDT's team, established pilots on Cyclone's, and Dima 2012 is only about 1/10 of a second ahead of Sturman, his teammates. There they both are, Sturman's view in second as he's chasing Dima 2012 on the start of lap number 2. West is over a second behind this pair, and the Ice Cheetah is starting to struggle behind in fourth. Currently then, this is very different to the first race that we've seen, which ended up 5 points all. This is the complete opposite situation. One team first and second, the other third and fourth. This would be 7 points to VDT, courtesy of Sturman and Dima 2012. Only 3 points to Cyclone from West and the Ice Cheetah. And looking at this now, as we're about halfway through this race, it doesn't look like West or the Ice Cheetah can really do enough to try and close this gap, whereas Sturman and Dima 2012 are going for it between them with 1 lap to go. Here's Sturman into the corkscrew, chases over the top, twists down excellently through the ladder, and he comes out just a fraction ahead of Dima. Now towards the rocks, and the climb up through the 5 rings, and oh, a mistake perhaps there from Dima 2012. Now he's into the dive and he comes up for the ladder up, and then the ladder down on the right hand side hits the little barrier in the middle of those 2 gates. If there's anything that's going to help Cyclone change this 7 points to 3 situation, it can only be that they fly as well as they can and more mistakes happen for Dima, but I don't think it's going to turn out like that. His coaches, his managers can be telling him, we've got this, you don't need to do anything crazy. Sturman's already got the win. Dima is in second, about 2.5 seconds behind him. West about 4 seconds behind that. And here comes the Ice Cheetah to finish it off. Sometimes it was Dima 2012 in the lead. Sometimes, and at the end, it was Sturman. But all the way through from start to finish, it was Green and VDT. This is the DCL Big Heat. All 8 pilots in the air at the same time. Only 10 points available though. Still 4, then 3, then 2, then 1 point for the top 4 pilots. It's 12 to 8 for VDTs. The Cyclone need to get amongst them and in front of them, and Yayu is trying to do that. And the rest of Cyclone, Zion, FPV and the Ice Cheetah and West, well, we've seen that they haven't really got this track nailed down as well as Yayu has, as Yayu in fact goes to the lead. They've got to get involved. They've got to get into these points. He simply can't do it all by himself as he leads everybody to the cage on top of the rocks and dives down and is passed in the dive by Red Sheep now into the really big of the waffles. Yayu alongside him, just ahead of him by a tenth of a second now. Lap number 2. Yayu trying to hang on to that lead. The 2 confident youngsters from VDT passing him. Yes, Yayu's got caught on the ladder down before the corkscrew on the second set of gates, and with that he's lost not just the lead but almost 2.5 seconds. And now he pushes on, trying to get past as It's D goes from 4th all the way down to 7th, leaving just 3 of his teammates all in those big scoring positions though. Yayu chasing them up the rock. Zion and the Ice Cheetah and West, they've got to get with him and get some more points here or they're going straight into the elimination bracket. With 1 lap to go, it's looking very dangerous for Cyclone. Now Sturman trying to catch Red Sheep. Diva 2012 is only a tenth away from them too. The 3 of them having fun between them it seems, although Yayu on the chase is within a second. He's coming for all of you VDT. There's now just about 6 tenths between Yayu and the lead. Where did he find the speed to close that gap? That's what happens with a 2-time world champion like Yayu. He can see them as he goes through the cage. They're almost in his sights now, diving down. He's gone past Diva 2012. He's into the 6-gate waffle, and he's just got caught out there, and the chase is over. It is green, 1, 2, 3. Yayu ends up 1.5 seconds behind them, but he was a lot closer than that, with only a couple of gates to go. The rest of Cyclone limp in. It's only 13 hundredths of a second between Red Sheep and Sturman in the front. And with that, many more points for VDT. That first matchup, so close, tied it out in points, but after that it got further and further away. 21 points to 9 makes our first winner of the day, the Vexcel Spain Drone team. It's Artem, who is racing now with the brilliant VDT, getting off to a great start to the season. And you came over from Phoenix Racing, who were with us last year. So it must be very different now, racing for this team for you.
Yeah, sure. It's a bit difficult, team that it's more powerful than my previous. We doing great, like first place in qualifying, but it's a bit easier for communication because now it's 4 pilots speaking the same language as me, and it's more easier to understand each other.
And of the 4 pilots who are here with VDT in the Falcon Cup today, you are the oldest. But forgive me, not that old in racing terms. So you've got a very young team, and you guys are clearly loving it because you're doing so well.
Yeah, that's it. Now drone racing is for young pilots. It's young blood is coming to race and giving 2 good results, except for more old pilots. I think it's because reaction time, yeah,
okay.
More concentration for a race.
Yeah, I mean the pressure's on. First big championship of the season, like you said. Your team came in first seed. I think knowing your pilots, there's probably quite a lot of confidence that you could win it today. Do you agree?
Yeah, that's good chances for us.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see how you progress through the finals. Go and get ready for the semi-finals, where you're going to be racing very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
The last time these 2 teams met was the semi-final of the qualifications. Now it's the Red Sheep against Gilbert and the Bob to kick off the semi-final of the Falcon Cup finals. Rematch time. We love a rematch. And VDT and the wildcard team, they meet each other again and again and again as the VDT and the wildcards. They've both improved so much throughout 2025, and they seem pretty evenly matched here. It's Gilbert in the lead, being chased by young Red Sheep towards this triple trunk gate here, that ladder down underneath the trunk of Elephant Rock. Red Sheep's gone past Gilbert. Really nothing in it between those two. Diving down through the dive gate to the 6-gate waffle. Gilbert follows young Red Sheep all the way through that and starts lap number 2, about 0.3 of a second behind him. Here's his view. Oh, that's a good early pre-turn into the first of the corkscrews by Gilbert. That was good. And he's not leaving much room to spare. This is an excellent chase from Gilbert. He's got a little bit more catching up to do, though, as despite flying so well, the lead from Red Sheep, if anything, it's gradually extending by 100th here or there, but not now. Gilbert's past him. Red Sheep with a lot more catching up to do. Over half a second behind. Here's the dive down for Gilbert. He leads Red Sheep, and of course it's D and the Bob into the waffle, and he'll come out of that with 1 lap to go, and Red Sheep is going to throw everything he's got at him. I think Red Sheep might be a faster pilot. Yes, he's passed Gilbert there. He's just passed, and Gilbert is with him. Nothing really between them, less than 1/10 of a second. Here's all the 5 rings. Gilbert up to the ladder at the top, and then we'll dive down the other side. Gilbert, Red Sheep just behind him now. Red Sheep with Gilbert behind him. Oh, this is an amazing scrap for first and second, and it's D and the Bob. They're not too far apart in third and fourth. Gilbert now going for the dive. Oh, he's just turned too tightly. He hit the top square through the dive tower. That's cost him some time, and Red Sheep is going to win it. Gilbert will be second, about 1.7 seconds behind him, but that doesn't tell the whole story of what a brilliantly close battle it was. And a 1:49.171 for Red Sheep. That's the new fastest time on here. He's taken over half a second off the record. He's got Gilbert, of course, to thank for pushing him so hard. What now with Sherman and Dima 2012 against Danube and Filin? Away we go. Good start from everybody, less than 1/10 of a second between them. Oh, first mistake, Filin. Just turning a little bit awkwardly. He's just clipped the second of those pairs of gates. He's got to catch up from here. Dima 2012 and Sturman swapping the lead between them. Danube will have something to say about that, don't you worry. Here's the triple trunk, ladder all the way down, a right-hand descending ladder. Sturman still in the lead, 1/4 of a second between him and Dima 2012. Not very much between Dima 2012 and Danube, who's now in second, and past him out of the dive they go into the 6 gates. Don't get dizzy. And we'll move on to start of lap number 2 with Danube now leaving Dima 2012 a little bit behind and trying to catch Sturman. But Sturman, well, he's a bit of an undiscovered talent that VDT have brought in. He was with them in the DCL last year, and all this talk about Red Sheep and how amazing that very young pilot is. Well, Sturman, he's showing a lot of skills too. And what's particularly interesting about this battle is Sturman is fairly new and Danube has been in the DCL for many years. Sturman's racing for VDT, Danube used to. Oh, and now the 2 pilots of his old team, they have got away. Danube getting caught on the cage at the top of the rock, much like we saw with Gilbert, but Gilbert's recovery was very quick, and Danube instead has lost over 7 seconds. That absolutely wiped him out up there. Wow, Sturman now quite far ahead of Dima 2012 too. He's been consistently flying nicely throughout this. Dima 2012, brand new pilot for VDT for 2026. Another amazing young talent that their owners have found and are bringing up through their ranks. Sturman completing all a set of the gates, going down to the large waffle. Dima 2012 is in there as well. This is looking like a complete shutout of the wildcard team. Sturman wins it. Dima 2012 in second. Danube was so close to them until about a lap ago. He's in third. Filin completes it. Solid flying from him as well. But it is 7 points to VDT and just 3 for the wildcard team. That makes it 2 wins out of 3 for Sturman. I said the last time these teams met was in the semi-finals of the qualifications, and when they did, VDT won by 20 points to 10. They are currently 13-7 up, and here is the big heat with everybody in it, which can change everything. Oh, it's D's just turned a little too tightly, hit the gate on the far side of it before you come back through it. That sent him down onto the Saudi Arabian sand. He's down behind all of the wildcard team, but the rest of VDT, they're in 1, 2 and 3. Nice ladder work there. Now we go for the climb. Fill in, as you can see. dropped a bit further behind as well. It's D's past him at the back. In the front, it's still all green. It's VDT, and the wildcard team needs to get a lot of points off of them, so Danube is trying to do so. He is 0.02 of a second behind Sturman. What a close battle this is going to be as Danube appears in the top 4. Gilbert, who was so good in that earlier race, he's got to get up there as well. Currently it's Sturman and Red Sheep. Both of them flying so well into this pair of ladder up, ladder down, and then the triple trunk here, right-hand descending ladder, followed by this climb around the second of these giant rocks in Alula, through the cage in 2 different directions and dive out of the top of it as Red Sheep, Sturman, Dima 2012 and Danube are all doing with 1/4 of a second between the top 4, and here comes the Bob! Now we've got 2 pilots from the wildcard team trying to get a handle on these points. The Bob is starting to come alive with 1 lap to go. Red Sheep and Danube, less than 1/10 between them. Sturman and the Bob, barely 0.05 of a second between them. Oh, we're in for an incredible last half a lap here to the ladder. Danube and the Bob were first and second momentarily, but Red Sheep is still with them. Danube really wants to get this win for his team. They'll dive out of here. Red Sheep has managed to pass him. Danube's in second. The Bob is in third. Sturman staying with them all as well. Here's the final turn to the finish, and Red Sheep. Then Danube, the Bob, Sturman, Dima 2012. 4 of them within 0.4 of a second. What a close battle. What an amazing bit of racing. Seeing some pilots really coming alive. And the 3rd win in a row for young Red Sheep, helping his team to an 18 points to 12 victory over the wildcard team. Yes, 5 points all in that final heat. Seems fair after such a close, tight race, but it is VDT unscathed. Welcome to the Falcon Cup Grand Final. Congratulations, VDT and DCL's wildcard team. It's D and Red Sheep in green. It's Gilbert and the Bob in red. It's a little bit shaky there from the Bob. Just a little bit of a correction, rolling left, right, as he now is trying to catch the other 3 pilots. And this, the first of what will be 7 races in the Grand Final. We're going to have 2 of these 2v2s. And then the big heat, we're going to have 5 times with everybody flying. Around the pylon into the cage, straight through the bottom floor, then 90 degrees different angle across the middle, and then dive through the top. No problem for either of the pilots on the wildcard team. The Bob in the lead at the start of lap number 2. Gilbert, just about 1/10 of a second alongside him. It's D is close. Red Sheep, unfortunately though, the brilliant young pilot from VDT who's got 3 wins in a row. Yes, this 4th win is looking too much to do. But you know, in these 7 races he is going to feature again and again. I'm not sure he's got enough time to catch Gilbert and the Bob. This would be Gilbert's 1st win if he can stay out in 1st. It'll be the Bob's 3rd if he can get there instead as he is right now. Nicely flown out of the waffle and the 2 wildcard pilots. Well, they're putting some space between themselves and VDT in the first of these races in the Grand Final. This is a really good bit of flying. The gap between the Bob and Gilbert is pretty much the same as it has been the whole time. Here's Gilbert's view trying to catch the Bob. I'll tell you who else is trying to catch the Bob. It's D. He is gaining all the time. Just a few hundredths, just 1/10 here and there. That gap is closing. Now into the cages, and D's flown that really well. He's come out in 2nd. This is his view. Can he get the Bob as well? He gave that waffle everything he could. Barely any room to spare. And he takes 2nd place. And Gilbert is 3rd. Red Sheep, unusually for him, coming in last. Ahead of everybody, though, by over half a second. It's the 3rd win for the Bob. What a start to the final. Here come their teammates. VDT Sturman and Dima 2012 against Danube and Philin. On board with Dima 2012, one of their new pilots for VDT as he comes around the far side. Oh, and he is absolutely stuck there. That turn, it's not a split S where you go over the top and back through the gate. You have to go past the gate on the left-hand side and then turn and come through it. He is not the only pilot who's tried to make that too tightly, and he's not the only pilot in the DCL, and indeed in any racing, where they bumped into a gate and then hit it again. I've seen that many times here at the DCL. But it is unfortunate for him as it's cost him so much time. He is completely out of this. It's going to be up to Sturman to stay ahead of Filin and Danube, and he is capable of it. But Filin and Danube, they are going to put up a real fight. Sturman's got 2 wins out of 4. He also came 2nd and 4th. And those 2 wins he got, they were in these single heats, the 2v2 races. So you've got to fancy him for getting another one. On their way up the rock to the cage at the top. On board now with Danube, who's attacking the dive cage brilliantly. Oh, but he's tripped! That was almost an incredible and perfect save. He was actually going down backwards after hitting a rock on the way down. His view was up the hill, but upside down. The whole quad was inverted. He pulled the nose up so it was facing the ground and then the correct direction and nearly made it through the dive gate. Danube, that was pretty amazing reactions. Now we've still got Sturman and Filin. 1 and 2. It's going to be up to them. If Filin can stop Sturman, then that is an excellent bit of work from him because we've seen Sturman be very, very consistent so far. We haven't seen, I think, the best of Filin. His teammates were telling me how excited they are that he's here on the wildcard team, and it's going to be a 2nd place for him behind Sturman. Great work from Filin. Danube closed the gap a little bit, but not a very tidy run from him. Team of 2012 never really featured after some problems earlier on. Only 0.3 of a second between Filin getting a win for the wildcard team. Instead, Sturman's got his 3rd. Now, pilots, now you have to come and get it, as it is time for all 8 of them to fly, and we've got 5 of these big heats to enjoy. 10 points available in each of them, and currently the wildcard team are 2 points ahead of VDT. The Danube race, the Red Sheep battle with him, the Bob turning up as well, and some other pilots getting much more to grips with this track, as we just saw Filin doing. And then, of course, Sturman, who's been very, very steady throughout. Which way is this one going to go? Well, Dima 2012 is off to a better start. He's half a second behind the lead. Filin, unfortunately, is many seconds away. The Bob and Danube. We've seen a lot of the Bob and Gilbert, but now, of course, with everybody flying, we've got these different pairs and partnerships. As you can see, Gilbert is in 4th. He's still in the action here. Sturman's just been passed by him. It's now the wildcard team 1, 2 and 3, but Gilbert! Oh, I am quite famous for a commentator's curse. If you're not familiar with the expression, it's when a commentator is praising somebody and then they make a mistake. Gilbert's going to blame that one on me, perhaps. Just on the far turn. But look, he's not too far away. He just about saved it off of that gate, and it lost him a few tenths of a second, which is why Sturman is back into 3rd. Gilbert's lost a bit more time since then. Maybe it is me talking about him. Oh well, the Bob, it's your turn as we're on to the final lap. The first of the corkscrews, the ladder down, the Bob is still there. Danube is really close to him, 0.02 of a second. You only get numbers like this in the DCL. There they are again. Sturman doesn't care about the gap between the 2 red drones. He's going to try and pass both of them, and he did for a moment. He's back in the lead again. This is really going to come down to nerve. All of these pilots should be feeling pretty confident. Sturman from flying so well, the Bob coming into form. Danube's got more experience than both of them, and they'll weave their way down, and they'll go for the finish, and Sturman leads VDT to a win, and it is Red Sheep who's in the scoring points as well, but in 4th. Between them, the Bob and Danube, 2nd and 3rd. That doesn't help VDT. It becomes a 5-all race, but we got many more of them, and we may well see a few more wins from this man, Sturman. Race number 4 of the 7 in the Falcon Cup Grand Final. All big heats, remember, from now on. Everybody here for these 10 points every time. Good start from everybody. Gilbert, though, just a little bit awkward on that turn. He's lost a few seconds from it, actually. That's an early big mistake from him. Red Sheep and Filin fighting over the lead. Here's Filin's view as he goes down through the dive. Ladder up, then ladder down on the right side. No, he's hit the cone at the top. Turns far too sharply. Hit almost the inside of the cone when he needed to be going around it. So Gilbert was up to 2nd, but now he's last. And Filin, who was in the lead, is now 7th. What about the Bob? He's the one at the front. But then it is looking like a lot of VDT for company. Red Sheep has passed him on the start of lap number 2. And it's D and Sturman are trying to get through there as well. Dima 2012 is not far behind the Bob. And all the wildcard team, well, they are. Remember, the wildcard team have a 2-point lead at the moment, 16 points to 14, and we've had 2 races go 5 points all. This is looking a little more dangerous for the wildcard team. The Bob, even if he can carry on this lead all the way for another lap and more, who on his team is going to get up there and help him score more points? Well, we're into the waffle on board with its D. Through the middle, and the spiral out at the bottom is very good. And he's 0.05 of a second behind the Bob with 1 lap to go. There they are through the first. Now the ladder and the corkscrew over the top. It's the Red Sheep's turn to go to the front. The Bob keeps being passed by a green pilot, but then passes them again. He almost had Red Sheep there. He does at the moment on the dive down. This is Red Sheep's view as he comes really tight around that right-hand side. The one that caught Phil in out earlier, but was really tight and really good for the Red Sheep. He's 1/4 of a second behind the Bob. Not much time to get him now. Can he get him on this big waffle, though? This might be the technical kind of obstacle that does it for him. And Red Sheep, just momentarily, now he's alongside the Bob, and the Bob hangs on by 0.03 of a second. Sturman, 0.4 of a second, and Phil in. After that mistake he made, he kept it together, and he managed to get a point for the wildcard team. This man, though, he got 4 more for them, and that's his 3rd win in the last 5 races. I said the Bob was getting into form. 2 wins of the 3 I just mentioned have been here in this grand final. He is an important reason why the wildcard team still have a 2-point lead. The last 3 races have all scored 5 points to each team. What is going to be the difference? Can the wildcard team pull away? Well, Phil in was the one at the front, but now he's got Danube and the Bob backing him up. The Bob moves up to the front. Red Sheep is the one next to him. Oh, it is so tight between everybody except for Sturman. Now that is bad news, as Sturman has been so good on this track. And in fact, Sturman and Red Sheep are the only pilots out of these 8 who have scored points in every race they've flown here at the Falcon Cup Finals. Every time. Now it's Red Sheep at the front and the Bob with him at 1/10 of a second. It's not even that between the 2 of them. Unfortunately for Sturman, he's found some more problems. He's gone even further to the back. So if anybody's going to keep their point scoring record alive, it could be Red Sheep, and he won't want to settle for second behind the Bob again. There's only a couple of thousandths of a second between Red Sheep and the Bob. Now to the dive. This is the Bob's view. Now he just slips past Red Sheep, who's above him as they go for lap 3. Oh! That's an unbelievable recovery. It almost raises questions. Did he hit something? Yes, he did. He hit the right-hand side of the gate. He turned too early to start lap number 3, but he caught the inside of it just so tangentially. It flipped him a full 180 degrees, and he just turned left out of that and kept going. Great work from the Bob after the bump, which he really didn't want to suffer. Instead, now Red Sheep has got some clear air between him and the Bob and into the waffle, and he has been chewing that thing up with no problems. So the gate is Red Sheep's, and the finish and the 4 points, it's all his. But with Dima 2012 behind the Bob, and it's D as well. Now this is what VDT absolutely needed. If Red Sheep hadn't beaten him to the finish, the Bob would set a new track record. That's the best time we've seen, except for Red Sheep's, who's in front of him and just took half a second off his own record. That last matchup, that wasn't 5 points all. That one was 7-3 in favour of VDT. Now they are the team with a 2-point lead, and there are 2 matchups still to go, including this one. The Bob! He's jumped the start. He's at a 1 second penalty of no throttle. That's why he's at the back, and he is by far the best of the wildcard pilots here on our Alula track. That's bad news for the wildcard team unless his teammates can really step up now. Danube is the only one of them in the scoring positions. He's the most experienced of all the pilots on the wildcard team. He used to race with VDT back when they were Spain drone team until he dramatically left them in 2024. He came in last in the last matchup. He's got to do a lot better and will and encourage and show his teammates how they can do it as well, or their lead in this race, this whole grand final, which was 2 points in their favour. They're now 2 points behind, and it could get worse for them. Red Sheep, Sturman, Dima 2012, this trio of pilots, these young guys, they are absolutely fearless. They complete the cross routes through the cage on top of the rock and head down, all three of them into the waffle at the same time. Oh, Red Sheep! On that last turn, the 180-degree turn at the bottom of it, he hit the side of the gate. Now he's down into fourth, and Sturman, who was in the lead, he hit the far gate turn, which a few pilots have done, and that's perhaps one of the easier obstacles compared to sections of the course like this one. So, Sturman is still just about managing to hang on to the lead, but Diva 2012 really wants it from him. And Diva 2012 throughout the course of today's finals and all of the qualification races to get here, Diva 2012 finished in every single place except first. He's been in all of the other numbers. There's his first win in the DCL. Congratulations, Diva 2012. And it was a good fight between him and his teammates to get it. Sturman second, Red Sheep third. Phil-in managed to get 1 point for the wildcard team, and the Bob, even with his penalty on the start, got fifth. But Diva 2012's the one at the front. And with pilots in second and third, 9 points to VDT. Just that one for Phil-in and DCL, the wildcard team. This grand final has completely swung the other way. It is now VDT's to lose. One more race. All of these amazing pilots within 0.4 of a second of each other. No early bumps or crashes here. Up over the rock. They're still all together. This is it now. Everything to gain the Falcon Cup title. Can it be yours? It was Cyclone who won it at 2025's Falcon Cup. They then lost the Eagle and Hawk Cups after that to VDT. VDT, can they claim the Falcon Cup? Can they get one of each? And can they go from there to a World Championship title that they have been after for all of their years? While the Falcon Cup final, it could be their first cup of many for 2026, and Red Sheep wants to bring it home in style. Sturman would like another win too, and he's up there now. Gilbert is still trying to say something about it for the wildcard team, and Danube keeps popping in and out of that top four. It's just not consistent enough from the wildcard team pilots. Whereas the young ones of VDT, they have owned today around Alula. Sturman is going to be the one to start the final lap of the Falcon Cup finals in first place. Here's Red Sheep trying to beat him to it. Danube splits them. Danube isn't going to lay down just yet either. He's only about 1/10 of a second behind the leader. He could surprise all of them. To be honest, it's for pride more than anything else. He's come 7th or last in the last 3 races. Can Danube finish with a bit more to be proud of as Red Sheep and Sturman go through the cage, and Red Sheep at the top of it. Just as he climbed to then dive through the top of the tower, he hit that ridge, that frame around the top. It is Sturman's win. Danube gets second, then Diva 2012, and it's D featuring in the points as well. Each of Red Sheep, Diva 2012 and Sturman picked up a win in those last 3 races. Sturman's win there was his 5th of the day. That's as many as all of the pilots from the wildcard team combined, and all of the pilots from Cyclone as well. 42 to 28 points. The Falcon Cup final champions, they are Vexcel Spain Drone Team. So our winners of our Falcon Cup finals are VDT, and look how happy you are, Red Sheep. I know you can barely keep still. And 3 wins for you in today's racing. So what an achievement. How are you feeling?
I'm really happy.
Yeah?
Because every win is really happy because it's emotions. Like, you know, how you win other pilots, this is really good.
Yeah, and I imagine throughout today you were probably all really excited and enjoying yourselves as you're such a young team, but you won every matchup you had. So today must have been really exciting for all of you.
Yeah.
And you managed to get some wins, and Sturman, I think, picked up 5 wins just in today's finals. So all the other teams know that really you're the team to beat this year.
When we like Sturman in the last year is flying not really good. Like he flying like it's D when he crash. And but now Sturman is have like I think 3 hours of the day of training, and now he being so good. Like he flying like me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you've always done so well for the team, and are you going to be able to beat Sturman? Are you going to be able to get more wins than he does?
I don't want to win Sturman. It's a teamwork.
There you go. What a professional you are.
Yeah.
So, last year, VDT as SDT, last year, you guys were so close to being the world champions, but the way it worked out at the end of the year, it wasn't to be. This year, are you going to be a world champion with your teammates?
I wanna. So I so wanna
I know.
be a champion.
I think you could do it. I think you could all do it. The other teams know that you are the ones that they are going to have to keep up with. Red Sheep, you must be so pleased. I'm so pleased for you and all of your family as well. Congratulations. The Falcon Cup champions, it's VDT. They get 10 points towards their DCL World Championship standing. Then the wildcard team pick up 8. Cyclone Racing were the 2024 World Champions, they get 7. And last year's reigning World Champions, Raiden, well, they just get 6. Then behind them, it's our brand new teams, Aspan from Kazakhstan and Squadron 78 from Latin America, who already knew it's going to be tough here in the world's best drone racing league. What's going to settle the rest of our season? Well, it's going to be how well these teams of pilots can all work together. As Raiden Racing, they only got 2 wins, and that was both due to Shane. Cyclone got 5 wins, but they were all taken by Yayu. The wildcard team, well, Danube and the Bob, they got some wins each, but over on VDT, 3 of their pilots picked up wins during the 10 that they managed to claim throughout the finals. The other teams, they can't, as I've said, do it all with just 1 pilot at the front. What happens next and how will the teams be ready for it? Well, it'll be the DCL Eagle Cup, coming very soon here in 2026, our next stage of our World Championship standing. We can't wait to see if VDT can really push through this whole year and finally get the championship title that was so near last year, and how are these new teams going to turn up as well. From all of us here at the DCL, thank you for watching the Drone Champions League. I'm Matt Andrews. We'll see you for the Eagle Cup, and we'll see you in the skies.